We've certainly seen an uptick in business with COVID. We hear from our clients that business has been very strong. We've been on a growth trajectory to begin with. We're on the pace to over double the size of our business this year from last. We met our 2019 revenue numbers in June. We're very active in the industry. We're a part of the fabric of the cannabis culture here in Arizona. And I think that plays a big part of it as well.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Cannabis Corona Report, where we speak to cannabis companies that are succeeding or helping other companies succeed during the global pandemic. And today we're joined by Jeff Scrabeck from DIZPOT. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you about packaging. And let me back into this a little bit. When I tell people that I'm in the cannabis industry, they usually say, do you own a dispensary? Because like that's the only thing most people that are not in the industry think about. And when I tell them about all the ancillary businesses that support the industry, they're overwhelmed. And I have to admit, when I went to your website and I saw all the cannabis packaging products, I was overwhelmed. DIZPOT, just from reading your website, you started as a one-stop shop for dispensary, grow facilities, and manufacturers so that they could buy all their bulk packaging and their supplies. To get this thing started, just give our listeners an idea of the scope of cannabis packaging. Tell us all the different categories and an idea. How many products do you guys source?
Wow, that's a lot. We started out with the idea that we would be, selling containers and jars and just basic distribution, wholesale type products. And once we got in the market, we learned that the real need was for branding. And we did a quick pivot, really the first month or two we were in business. We were finding people were having a difficult time getting their brand, getting their product packaged. So it looks like any other industry. When you go into a grocery store or a drugstore, everything is packaged, and dispensaries weren't quite there yet when we started. Our very first client was trying to get a box made. They've been trying for 6 months. And my partner, John, it's a shame he's not here because he is a character. They show us this box and he goes, "Oh, we can make that." And we left the meeting and got in the car and I go, "How are we going to make that?" And I just, dug in and started looking for manufacturers and we delivered that product in 3 weeks. And it's just has snowballed from there. There's a ton of different methods of packaging cannabis. It's a unique product, and that's what kind of separates us from the other packaging companies in the world. We've heard it from a number of our customers when they deal with a traditional packaging company. They spend the great majority of their time educating the packaging company on the unique properties of their product. We focus specifically on this industry where that's kind of how the whole thing got started.
Yeah. I think that's the key. And I wanted to get into this, and I'm glad you brought it up because it's kind of a rare talent to be able to take somebody's logo and make it work on all the different packaging. If I was a brand and I came to you and said, "Hey, you know what? I want my logo on everything that I'm selling." Walk me through how you would do that.
Sure. So say you were looking for a box for a cartridge and you had a logo, we would get you into the office and try to determine what you're looking for from an aesthetic standpoint, from a functionality standpoint. We have obviously thousands and thousands of samples of our work in our office so people can see all the different things that we've brought to the marketplace. And from there, we take something from here and something from there and combine it to make it unique. One thing we don't want to do is have one of our clients' brands look like another client's brand. We try to guide people into uniqueness so their product stands out in the marketplace. We'll get a graphic designer in front of them on one of our big screen TVs, and we can actually design their product with the customer and the designer together. Of course, we do a proofing process, and that can be anything from a digital proof, this is what it's going to look like, to actually making the box exactly the way it will be produced to get in the customer's hands for approval. Once we finalize the artwork, we can typically deliver within about 3 weeks. Our goal is to get our customers to market as quickly as possible.
Hey, if you're a cannabis company that's preparing to raise capital or an investor looking for an early cannabis investment opportunity, you'll want to tune into the Raising Cannabis Capital podcast beginning on August 15th as we simulcast the Cannabis Crowdfunding podcast series featuring the top crowdfunding platforms. Tune in on August 15th and learn what it takes to launch a crowdfunding campaign on the Raising Cannabis Capital podcast. I just got to imagine with the COVID crisis right now, the people are hyper germ conscious, and that's putting a premium on packaging and making sure that the packaging is safe. And like you said before, cannabis packaging is just so unique. You mentioned it, or somebody mentioned to me that your first half of the year, your sales were just really, really good. Do you think a lot of that had to do with COVID-related demand for secure packaging?
We've certainly seen an uptick in business with COVID. We hear from our clients that business has been very strong. We've been on a growth trajectory to begin with. We're on the pace to over double the size of our business this year from last. We met our 2019 revenue numbers in June. We're very active in the industry. We're a part of the fabric of the cannabis culture here in Arizona. Sure. And I think that plays a big part of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it all does. I just was wondering if you felt that there was any impact for the secure packaging or making sure that the packaging is right because of COVID. I think it's always in the back of people's mind, especially when you talk about medicine. You want to make sure that it was, that it's safely packaged.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we do take a lot of precautions here. We move a lot of product. A lot of physical product comes in and out of our warehouse on a daily basis. We've actually gone to quarantining everything that comes in for 3 days, just as a safety precaution. It's maybe an overreach, but we'd rather err on the side of safety of not only our customers and the patients, but our employees as well. So we take whatever precautions we can.
I think that's the right approach. As we move into the fall and the winter, you're anticipating any changes in packaging or any opportunities or concerns that you're preparing for?
Sure. Well, packaging is always changing. There's always new things coming out. We follow what's going on nationally in the traditional packaging space. I mean, we're students of the packaging industry. It's kind of funny once you get into this industry, you can't go into the grocery store the same way. you pick up everything. It drives my wife crazy. I'm grabbing boxes of things that we would never buy, but I'm going, boy, this is interesting. Let's buy it so we can figure out how to make it into cannabis packaging.
That's great. That's great. Well, what's next for you guys? What's on the horizon?
Well, we're continuing to roll out into other states. We see a lot of growth opportunities throughout the country. We're doing a lot of business in Florida. We see the Northeast as being a real hot spot for us. We're doing some things internally that are interesting. We're about to launch what we're calling DIZPOT intelligent packaging. And what that is embedding packaging with technology. In this case, it's near field communication RFID. Where a client can get a box. There's actually a little antenna in it. And if you tap it with your smartphone, it will direct you to a website where there'll be contact, and it enables our wholesale customers primarily to be able to connect with the end user. So that's an exciting initiative that we have going on right now.
Wow, that would be a game changer. That would be so cool.
Yeah, patients would be able to get test results.
Yeah, there's so much in your field. Like you said, you go to the grocery store and you see something new every day. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners who are interested in changing their packaging or adding their packaging will probably want to follow up with you and ask you more specific questions. And we'll have all of Jeff's contact information in the show notes. So if anybody's interested in more information from DIZPOT or, wants to just talk to Jeff about maybe changing their logos, I'm sure he'll be happy to talk to you. Jeff, thanks for being on the show today.
Hey, thank you very much for the opportunity, Dan. We really appreciate it.